I really want to thank the coaching staff of Richmond. I'm not sure, number one, I'm not sure I could respect how they play anymore. I knew this was going to be a really tough game, and this really challenges how we like to play, and they spread you out, and they shoot it so well, and they're very selfless, and I just think they're a great team. But I also have to say today, there's nothing like having comrades in this business that you have alignment of purpose. And I may have had one of my most encouraging conversations with their head coach this morning. And I just want to give so much credit to him. And he gave to me. He filled my cup today. And at the same time, he was such an awesome competitor. And, you Richmond folks, you got a special one. And so just lots of credit to them. And boy, are they a good team. So they really stretched us, and like I said, but really proud of our defensive response. We had too many mistakes of how we were guarding certain things in the first half, and they were hot. And that combination was tough for us, but loved our response on defense in that third quarter. I just thought the intensity was so much better. We made some slight adjustments on about 3 different actions out of halftime, and they adjusted to all of them. And I just loved the crowd, how they got behind that intensity, and I thought that was a really big deal. We needed that energy, and for them to just get so excited about how we were defending made all the difference in the world. Really proud of 2 things from our team, our selflessness and our commitment to our defense. Those 2 things I thought carried us, and that's the kind of thing you need. It's going to be somebody different all the time, and obviously their statistical lines were ridiculous. But in our locker room, we called out people like Kendall, who had all assists and rebounds and was so efficient in a spark in 12 minutes of play. Elena, for how she came in and gave London some breather and moved her feet on the defensive end and kept up the pressure. Janiyah, 4 assists, 0 turnovers, 8 rebounds. Like, it's all those other people. We have 2 big dogs up here, and they do so much for us, but they know that it's our team that matters and the selflessness and work ethic that goes along with it. So, thankful.
Questions for the student athletes? Please address the student athlete or athletes when you ask your question, please.
Tukney to win with the LA Times, for either of you, Kiki or Lauren. Cori was just mentioning the crowd. What did the crowd feel like and sound like to you, especially in that third quarter? Like, after London hit that 3, it seemed like it was just like the roof was about to come off.
Yeah, I mean, that was definitely one of my favorite crowds that I played in front of at Poly. Just their energy and really how they carried us, especially in that third quarter, to bring, bring us that extra boost. We really appreciated that. And given that it's spring break right now, there's not a ton of students on campus. It's just so, it means so much to us for so many people to show up. And, obviously it's LA, there's so many other things to do. It's a beautiful weekend, but, people were here in the gym watching us. So that was really fun.
Sabrina Merchant, The Athletic. Lauren, at the end of the third quarter, I thought you were going to knock over Kendall with how excited you were when you went over her. What were you feeling in that moment? Like, what was sort of going through your head after what you guys had just done those previous 10 minutes?
Yeah, I'm just so proud of Kendall. I love her so much. She's just like one of the most positive people you'll ever meet, and being a freshman on this team is not easy, but she just continues to work and just do what she needs to do to help the team. And so in that moment, I just felt so proud of her because through how hard it is throughout the season, she just continues to just contribute in any way that she can. So I'm just really thankful that she's on this team.
Lauren, LT Willis with Kiki Sports, TV1. The other day we talked about defense. You talked also about taking care of the basketball, and also you mentioned that everybody contributes. What was it like to see that tonight? All those things you talked about came into fruition tonight.
Yeah, I'm just super proud of my teammates. I thought, that second half we really turned it around. I think we just changed our mentality defensively. We wanted to get stops, and we over-communicated, and we had each other's back, and we played as a unit, and that's what's most important. And I think everybody individually just stepped up and did what they need to do. And I think if we just continue to do that, we're going to be in a really good position. But I'm just really proud of everybody today.
Mike Regalado, Bruin Report. Lauren, Michael Thompson, famous Laker and broadcaster, tweeted out that The top 3 UCLA centers are number 1 Kareem, number 2 Bill Walton, and number 3 Lauren Betts. What are your initial thoughts on that?
Oh, that's crazy. Yeah, I don't really have any other words. That's just crazy. Thank you. Wow. My goodness.
Dennis Freeman, News for Us Online. This question is for Kiki. What was the team's mindset going into that third quarter?
Yeah, I mean, I think a lot of us, we've been in this really similar position last year with Creighton. I think we were down at halftime last year, so kind of this is something we're used to. And I think just coming out there and playing our game, making the adjustments we needed to defensively and offensively. But I think our belief in our motivation never wavered, which is something I'm really proud of this group. We were really positive in the locker room, continued to build each other up, tell each other what we needed from each other, and it worked.
Charlotte Moore, FI 360 News. Questions for Kiki. You came out on the third quarter hitting a whole bunch of threes. I think you had 4. What was your mindset about being more aggressive from the three-point line?
Yeah, I mean, I think just taking the shots when they're open. I get a lot of catch and shoot threes because a lot of teams send a lot of bodies to Lauren and to our post and everything. So just being ready to take those, knock them down, and shoot it with confidence. I work on it a lot, so just got to continue to show it.
Yes, Kiki.
Hi, Lauren and Kiki. Michelle Smith from The Next. It's nice to be comfortable in a game, but these couple of games where you've been pushed so far in the tournament, how valuable is that for what the next 4 games hold?
Yeah, no, like you said, basically we're just going to need it moving forward. I think that, grit, especially in March Madness, is super important. And I think just like the over-communication, making sure we hold each other accountable in timeouts is going to be super important moving forward. And I think, these past 2 games, like Coach Cori has held us accountable and she's not changing the standards. So if you're not doing what you need to do, you're going to come out. And I think that's just going to push us individually to make sure that when we're on the floor, we do what we need to do to win. So.
Haley Sawyer, SoCal News Group. You guys had 5 turnovers as an entire team today in the entire game. So what allowed you to take care of the ball so well tonight for whoever wants to answer?
Yeah. 25 assists.
That was something we were very proud of in the locker room. I mean, I think just our focus on that this week in preparation and in practice, taking care of the ball. We haven't been happy with the amount of turnovers that we've had in past few games. So as guards, that's on us to really, find the right people, put everyone in good positions. And we watched film on that yesterday, and we saw us turning the ball over, and we didn't want that again. So I was really happy with how everyone just made smart decisions and took care of the ball.
Dimitri Dorlis, the Mighty Bruin. For Lauren, Kiki had 23 points, 7 assists, only 1 turnover, as I'm sure Coach Close would love me to throw in there. How easy does it make it for you and the rest of the team when Kiki is just on that level where she is just so dominant running the offense, knowing when to push it, when to pull things back?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, I'm just super thankful that Kiki's my teammate and I don't have to play against her. She's just, I call her like the point god. She just like is she's really like that girl. I mean, I just trust her so much, and I just know that she's gonna make the right decision at the end of the day. And I'm just so proud of her because she continues to work her butt off every single day, and that's just who she is and what she brings to this team. And tonight, like, I'm just honestly like, other than like the assists and the non-turnovers, I'm just proud that she was confident in her shot today. I just thought that was super cool to see, like, especially on the kickouts. Like, I was just like, yes, Kiki, like, shoot it every single time. But no, I'm just, just super grateful that I get to be her teammate, and I just know moving forward we're going to continue to do great things. So,
Joe Pachowski, Mighty Bruin. Lauren, you actually had 9 offensive rebounds, which actually outnumbered the offensive rebounds that the entire Richmond team had. You guys as a team had 27 second chance points. How big was the offensive rebounding tonight for you guys?
Yeah, I think it's super important. I think it started with, making or taking good shots. I think offensively, when we force really tough shots, that's when we don't get in the right position to create those offensive rebounds. So I think tonight we just made the right decision with the ball, and I was just, there to basically just clean up the mess whenever I need to. But I just think offensively that kind of, ignited my rebounding today. So.
Kiki, this is Miriam Swanson in the Southern California News Group. I wanted to ask you about that Michael Thompson tweet and sort of just what it's like to be out there playing with like an all-timer here at UCLA.
Yeah, it makes life easy. No, I think as a point guard, knowing that I can throw the ball up to Lauren, I think one of the best things about her is her hands and how she catches every pass. I think I threw her a lob one time. Wasn't a great pass, but she caught the ball. Probably would have had another turnover if she didn't have the amazing hands that she does. But I think Lauren just makes the game easy for everyone on this team. And I think her ability to shoulder so much weight and just do that on a consistent basis and show up for us every single day is something we really admire. So just love playing with her, and she's only getting better.
We have time for one more question for the student athletes, if there is one. Thank you, student athletes. You are dismissed.
Thank you.
Questions for Coach?
Took me to win with the LA Times. Cori, when Kiki's shooting like that, how much does that change what you guys can do on offense, and how have you seen her comfort grow shooting that specific shot?
Well, and it's interesting. The numbers, we chart every single one of those in practice every day, and her numbers are ridiculous. It just has to do with that she's got to believe it and think, I'm a shooter. So when that ball gets kicked out, it's really a mental thing. It's not just a shooting thing. She's been shooting like that all throughout the off season. She worked on it throughout every practice, and we've several times brought her in and said, look, when you catch and shoot first, your numbers are so good, you got to do it more. And she actually gets taken out if she doesn't shoot it. And so it's not surprising to us. She's just showing it more. We always say the work done in the dark gets revealed in the light, and I'd say the light was pretty bright on her shot tonight.
Coach, Jack Haslett from the Sporting Tribune. Maggie Dugan certainly had a hot hand, especially in the first half.
So good.
And then just to contain her to just 2 points in the third, what adjustments were made in the locker room at the half to contain her?
Well, all of her threes, she would try to drive on Lauren. Lauren would cut her off, and then she would retreat dribble, and Lauren wasn't taking up the slack. And at halftime, I told Lauren, we tried to get her on 25 more, but we knew with all of their screens that she was going to get on her eventually. And I just told her, you're not the National Defensive Player of the Year candidate for just in the post. You are really good on the perimeter. And when she retreats, you go with her. And just really talking about taking up the slack, and I'm just like, she can't get by you to the rim. You will guard her, but nobody can help you if you don't get out to the three. And just really challenged her to play perimeter defense that way. But I also thought our other four players, I thought Janiyah did a really good job. I thought she came in. I thought Tamia, our ability to rotate big threes, fours, and Tamia Gardner and Angela Dugulich and Janiyah Barker. I thought that was a really important piece too, because we could just throw bodies at her over and over again with length over time. But she is a really good player, and she definitely caused us to make some adjustments at halftime.
Mike Rigolato, Bruin Report. Coach, back to the Sweet 16, third year in a row, 7th in 9 years. What does it mean to you and to this program to be able to accomplish that?
Well, I think, it's one thing to, get to certain points of elite, excellence. And I think, being Sweet 16 and higher it's really how you're judged if you want to be an elite basketball program. But I think it's sustained excellence. And I think we're making steps of that. That's just an expectation. And we're going to have habits that lead us to those places. And now we got to push the envelope, though I'm only thinking 1-0. So I won't talk about, past that. But I think I'm most proud of a staff that always holds the standard. I'm most proud of young women who don't want to just be pushed to be an elite basketball program, but they want to be elite people. And they want to use this to be championship level women. And, so I think it's a part of our program. It's not the only part of our program. But, we're pretty driven to be an elite basketball team. So to have that sustained excellence is a good step in the right direction.
Dennis Freeman, News for Us Online. Coach, how big were the points off of turnovers tonight?
Well, I think it all contributed, right? You're talking about the offensive rebounding contributed, but I think causing those turnovers, us not turning it over, we've been telling our team, our percentages when we get quality shots are elite. And so really the missing link was just taking care of the ball. But when you turn them over, it makes that shot selection even easier. And we're able to attack in transition. We're able to attack before they're able to establish their help side defense or their double team rotations, their zone and the way that they played a lot in the second half. And so it's huge, but it all fits together. It's all a possessions game, right? So if we don't turn it over, we control rebounds, we get extra possessions by getting out of area rebounds. It all fits in. And if we're able to get more shots, quality shots than our opponents, we're going to have a pretty good chance to win.
Charlotte Moore, FI 360 News. Coach, you called a timeout when you were up 17. It looks like they scored back-to-back with Dewey and Dugan.
Yeah, back-to-back threes. That's the key factor.
Right. So with that, what was your concern going into the game, and was that part of the reason why you called the timeout going in?
Number one key on the scouting report was, pressuring the ball and running them off the three-point line. And we didn't think that if they had to shoot hard twos most of the night that they were going to have enough to beat us. But if they're able to get threes and we're trading with twos, that was not a good recipe for us. And so when they scored those back-to-back threes, we needed to address that right away. And credit to them. I mean, they outscored us in the fourth quarter. We gave up 24 points. And so, as great as a lot of things were, that we got to continue to push the envelope of not giving away those possessions or have those mental breakdowns where you're not doing your job. And that's really the bottom line, is execute the scouting report and do your job.
Over here, Paolo, you get at ESPN. Cori, you've had to say, not had to, but you've said a lot of praise for Lauren over the course of the season, understandably. But what can you say about a performance like the one she had tonight in a game like this one? Well,
Lauren, heck, we've already said she's the third best center, male or female, in UCLA history. So, but, she's an absolute generational player. And she is not 6'7", just a low post player. Watch her move out there. The way that she guarded and switched, and even when she made some mistakes, the way that she chased people at 6'7", and she's really 6'8" too, by the way. But she's just, an elite player. She has a basketball IQ. She's incredibly competitive. She affects the game in so many ways on both offense and defense. The list goes on and on. It's just the scouting report sort of starts with Lauren every time, and so it's a really almost impossible task. And our other players are the beneficiary of the attention that she draws every single night. But I have to say, I might be more proud of her courage to share her story. And several articles that have come out in the last few weeks about who she is as a young woman, is that the biggest difference you're seeing in her performance out there is that she doesn't only see herself as a basketball player anymore. And she talks a lot about being a daughter and a sister and her interests outside of basketball. And because of that, because her identity is not only as a basketball player anymore, she's actually freed up to master her craft at a different level. But that took courage to share her story. And I'm as proud of that as I am about her performance on the hardwood tonight.
We have time for 2 more questions.
Coach over here, how much Ole Miss have you had the opportunity to watch this season, and how quick does your focus have to shift?
Well, I have to shift immediately, but we're planning ahead all the time. But we have actually watched Ole Miss a lot because Christine Walla is on our team, and we love her. And even though she used to be a Bruin, but we're Wally fans, as we call her, and we just think she's spectacular. So we've tuned in as a team to a lot of games, starting with in Paris at the very beginning of the year. So I've watched actually them a lot. And they are one of the best defensive teams in the country. They're extremely physical. It's going to be a grinded out kind of game, and we have a lot of respect for how they defend. In fact, in our staff meetings all the time, Coach Tasha Brown would say, well, if we were Ole Miss, we'd be defending like this, this, and this. If I had $1 for every time she said that. So we're going to have to, get our act together for the Sweet 16 game. But we've been preparing all the way. We've charted this out of what that looks like, and so we'll be ready. But Coach Yo's done a great job with her team, and we absolutely cheer for Wally every game leading up to this, except for on Friday.
Last question.
Haley Sawyer, SoCal News Group.
Okay. Mm-hmm. Go ahead, Haley. Sorry.
Yeah. Janiyah had limited minutes in that second quarter. It looked like she might have been in pain at some point. Do you have any health updates for her?
She's fine. She was overheating. That's the official word. So they just said, hey, give her a second. Let's get to halftime, and she'll be fine. So nothing serious. So she's good.
Thank you for your time, Coach. We
Yep.
have 10 more minutes left of open locker room for UCLA. We have to get Richmond in here, too. So
And just huge, you guys keep following this game, and just a big piece. My mother, who's sitting over here, said we were looking at the paper and all of social media and all the things, and women's basketball was dominating the media space today. And I, to you, say thank you for that.